Hey guys, it's Byron here and welcome to Byron's Reviews. Today I am joined again by Rhys, also known as Games of Reference.
Hello once again.
And today we are here for a very exciting review as we take a look at Asteroids on the PlayStation 1. Obviously this is a remake of the popular 1979 arcade game, so what were our thoughts on it?
Well, I really enjoyed it. It's a really faithful remake of Asteroids. Basically what they do is they kind of introduce the classic Asteroids gameplay. You fly around and you obviously destroy asteroids, but what they've done here is they've added extra debris for you to destroy, and they all act differently. For example, there's these sort of crystal asteroids that when you destroy they sort of shard off, they can grow back to their original size, which is really like good way of doing it, because that's kind of how you would want to a remake of Asteroids to be. You'd want extra threats and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I was really impressed by how many like extra threats and sort of like different kinds of asteroids or alien spaceships there were. And I think that's just an example of them modernising the game just enough to make it feel new and fresh, but also it feels like Asteroids. You know you're playing Asteroids, and I think that just worked really well.
Yeah, I did, and you definitely know you're playing Asteroids, but they managed to just change some of the features just so it'd be better for like a 1990s audience. For example, instead of just having one ship, you now have 3 ships, and they all play slightly differently. Like one of them's slower but has extra health, one of them's faster but a lot more vulnerable, for example. It's all quite cool, and tying in with that, they now have this shield feature where you can press it and it will deflect some shots. It's a really cool feature, but although I found it to be slightly unreliable at some points.
Yeah, like there were a couple of occasions I thought it could have been a tiny bit more responsive. I'm not sure if that was just me or not, and I think with you actually managed to trap some of the smaller asteroids in the shield with you.
Yeah, it's kind of... Yeah, it kind of goes on to another thing about the game. I mean, the controls and all that are really, really responsive, but just sometimes there are some cheap deaths, like you'll hit an asteroid and then it'll kind of break into 3 small asteroids, and one of them will head straight to you faster than you can react, and that's really kind of a main negative. Sometimes there are some cheap deaths.
Yeah, and I think the icy sort of asteroids are the perfect example of that, because you shoot them and then just completely unpredictable, the smaller asteroids will fly out of them, and if you're close by you just don't know where they're going to fly out, and you are hit a lot of the time, which can be frustrating. And just for a second, going back to the 3 different ships you can choose from before you start, I really like the design of those ships. Like there's the traditional triangle ship from the original Asteroids, and I really like how they've modernised it and made it like 3D with a bit more detail.
Yeah, it looks absolutely lovely. And then you get another ship which is more of a round generic ship, and that's one that's got a lot of shield on it, but that ship's it looks quite cool, and you know, very, very like classic 80s sci-fi, but problem is you can't really tell that ship which way it faces the front of it, but that might be just our telly. But
yeah, because it's kind of the others like have a distinct shape, but this one is more of like a circle. So as you said, you can't always tell which way it's facing, but I think that is something you'd get used to the more you play the game. So I don't think it's like a huge issue, but it's worth pointing out. But as well as just the design of the ships, I think the overall style of this game is really good with the sound and graphics.
Yeah, you might be able to tell in the background here, but it's got some really nice cutscenes. They look very, very high quality for FMV in the 90s. They have like a very distinct 80s sci-fi feel. You can definitely tell that, which I suppose makes sense, because in fact Asteroids was made around the Star Wars era.
Yeah, definitely right, and I completely agree. And with the music, I really like it. I think you described it as being sort of ambient music, and that is completely right, because it's like in the background it's very atmospheric, but it's not distracting, and that combined with the backgrounds of each stages, with like planets spinning around and stuff, that it looks very dynamic, but once again, like the music, it's not distracting. It just looks very detailed and very nice, and just a very clear sense of style.
Yeah, and to go back to that, the stages there are like multiple stages. I believe there's 5. Each one of them has a completely different colour palette. So one of them's got like a sun level, and that's got lots of reds and yellows and all that sort of stuff. There's a more general asteroidy level, which has a lot of blues and all that, and there's a lot more ice shards and all that. I do like the fact that they have different stages, and these different stages have different hazards. Like my favourite one's the black hole level, which if you played Asteroids before, you know the classic tactic is stay in the middle and just shoot outwards as if you were some sort of just stationary turret. But in this one, if you stay in the middle, you lose one of your lives, so it forces you to keep moving. These sort of unique, like going back to the modernising thing, these sort of unique hazards definitely help make the game a lot more difficult. It's a lot more rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, and it's difficult in a really good way, in that it's fair but it's also challenging. And about the black hole thing, I love that aspect too, because it's basically saying, what's that? You have a strategy with asteroids? Well, make a new one.
We are forcing you to change your strategy on the fly.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, I do like that. And another aspect of them modernising the game is, I guess, all these sort of power-ups you can get. Like, and I think that these like different coloured cylinders, and there are a lot of them. And there's a yellow one which gives you a new life. I think another one gives you more points, but others allow you to have some sort of other sort of way of attacking the asteroids, and it's used with the circle button, and I think it's called a wild card.
Yeah, I believe that's what they're called, the wild cards. There's different ones, like I remember there was a mine one which is very obvious, which is just you just lay a mine behind you, and if an asteroid hits it, then it explodes. There's also I think one of our favourites was the Armageddon one, which
is that the purple one?
One of the purple ones, yes. Basically, what happens is it kind of fires. Your ship kind of spins around and it fires rapidly some shots, and that kind of destroys asteroids in the near vicinity. And these sort of power-ups definitely had a risk versus reward element, like, oh, there's something that could help me later, but I have to go near the asteroid. Should I go do it? Or I mean, it kind of also gives you extra points.
And you gotta love risk versus reward in your classic retro games. But as well as just the single-player mode, there's a really cool multiplayer mode, and it's kind of both cooperative and competitive in a way, because you both are shooting asteroids, so you get through the stages quicker, but at the same time you're racking up your own points, and the points is how the game decides the winner. And I guess you can also sort of screw over the person you're playing against a bit, like pushing asteroids by shooting them in the direction of the other player, which I think we have killed each other a couple of times doing that.
Yeah, because obviously, like I said before, there's not just asteroids, there's pieces of metal and debris and all that sort of stuff. Some of which even explodes once you destroy it, which is quite unique.
And if you're caught in the radius of that, you're going to die.
Yeah, and so what you can do is, with these ones that take multiple shots, you can actually change where the direction they're heading. So if you're in single player, you can just start pushing an asteroid away from you. But if you're multiplayer, you can start pushing it to the other side of the screen where your opponent is. And at the end, I believe you get 4 lives and all that.
Yeah.
You get, at the end of it, the person who lost all their lives, they lose 500 points, and the person who survived gets 500 points plus 500 points for each life they had left, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Rhys absolutely trolled me with one thing, because I had more points than him, and then Rhys was all smug, all oh, if you kill yourself now, you're probably still going to have enough points to win once the 500 are taken away. But no, Rhys managed to rack up some more points last minute, and guess who won? This guy.
Yeah, it was just to kind of stay a general thing. You didn't have to actually, end the game right there, Byron.
Nah, it was just funny.
One thing that sort of slightly annoys me about multiplayer is, though, those wild cards we mentioned earlier? They're completely gone from a multiplayer. At least
I forgot about that.
As far as I can tell, which kind of annoyed me, because then I feel like I had an extra extra element of risk, because both people trying to go for this one power up.
Yeah.
You sort of do get back, because some of them are still there, the extra points one, the extra shield one,
extra
and
lives.
Extra lives, but they're the only 3 that are left in. I thought it'd been really cool if you actually had the power-ups in the multiplayer.
Yeah, I think they missed a trick there. I don't know why they took them away, so odd. Now I'd just like to quickly mention this game's replayability, and there are really only 3 game modes, which aren't a lot, but just the fact that this is a very addictive classic arcade game means that it really doesn't need any more modes, and you can just play it for ages and just get sucked into it.
Yeah, like me and you before recording this, we played it for like an hour or 2, and we've also played like an hour or 2 before the day before recording this.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. We didn't really ever get bored. The only reason why we stopped playing is because we just kind of had to, didn't we?
Yeah, and we wanted to film this, but I think it's fair to say that good times were had.
Yes, very good times we had.
You can unlock classic Asteroids, where it's one that's very faithful to the original 1979 version. And with that you can do 1 or 2 player also, even though while with the main game you play at the same time as each other. In the classic version you take turns. But I think the fact that it includes the classic Asteroids is great, because it's basically, if you want to buy a solid version of Asteroids, I would really recommend this one, because you get a very fun remake that introduces some new elements but is also faithful to the original, and it has a fun multiplayer aspect to it too. But you also get the classic version, and this is a very affordable game. I think I got it from a retro gaming store for about £3. So if you want to get a version, I'd say this is a very solid one to pick up.
Yeah, I perfectly agree with you, Brian. It is definitely a very good version of Asteroids. You get a lot of mileage out of it if you want to play just by yourself or with a friend, and yeah, and it is just, and you probably could pick it up really cheap due to PS1 games being just a dime a dozen everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do a really good job of modernising a 1979 game for the 1990s, and if you just enjoy Asteroids or any retro game, I'd suggest picking it up.
I completely agree, Rhys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of Rhys here, he has a YouTube channel, Games of Reference. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yes, on Games of Reference I do, instead of these just fairly unscripted videos where just talking to a camera, I do informative gaming content, just very concise videos about just random topics in gaming. I've done a couple of videos in there which if you could link in the description, Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done 2 videos, isn't it?
We've done a modern versus retro gaming one, and then one where we discuss whether the Wii U was really a failure or not.
Yes, and also there's other videos going up on my channel regularly, once every 2 weeks on a weekend, so if you like that sort of stuff and want to see more of me, then go over to that channel. It'll be linked in the description below.
Yeah, really high quality content. If you like my stuff or just gaming in general, I highly recommend you check it out. So as I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you later.